At the outset, I would like to offer my humble pranams to Bhagwan Baba, whose grace alone is making it possible for me to broadcast this Ramayana series over Radio Sai. Loving Sai Ram and greetings from Prashanti Nilayam. We are now deep into the Aranya Kandam, and I ended my last talk with Ravana visiting Maricha for the second time and persuading the latter to help him abduct Sita. Maricha did his best to dissuade Ravana from engaging in this foul act, but Ravana was in no mood to listen to advice, even if it was good, friendly, and in his best interests. I shall pick up from that point. Becoming impatient as well as angry, Ravana then said testily, Maricha, I have not come here to ask you for your advice. I want you to do something for me, and the question before you is, are you going to follow my orders or not? I don't want lectures, but a simple yes or no answer. What's it going to be? At great risk to himself, Maricha tried once more to persuade Ravana from attempting what was sure to become a misadventure. But slave as he was to the senses, Ravana was in no mood to listen. Maricha then said, Well, I have done my best, but since you insist, I shall go along with your plan. You may not know it, but I know for sure how it would end. I would be killed first, and you would face death at the hands of Rama later. Far better it is to die at the hands of Rama than in any other manner. So, just tell me what exactly it is that you want me to do. Totally ignoring the grim warning, Ravana was overjoyed because Maricha came round. He then leapt forward to sweep Maricha in a warm embrace. Smiling broadly, Ravana then said, Maricha, get into my aerial chariot, and together we shall proceed at once to where Rama lives. The moment we get close to that place, I shall give you precise instructions. Just follow them to the letter. Soon, the aerial car approached Rama's hermitage. Looking down from above and pointing to the ashram, Ravana whispered, Maricha, do you see over there a hermitage surrounded by plantain trees loaded with bananas? That, I believe, is Rama's ashram. Descend from the chariot, transform yourself into the kind of golden deer I described earlier, and romp around in such a manner as to attract Sita's attention. Once you do that, I am certain Rama would come after you. Thereafter, you could run away swiftly, drawing Rama deep into the forest. Ravana continued, Be careful. Rama would leave Lakshmana behind to protect Sita. So, for my plan to succeed, you have to get Lakshmana also out of the way. Therefore, when you have gone sufficiently far away, imitating Rama's voice, you must cry out loudly, Ah Sita, O Lakshmana, and create the impression that Rama was in danger. At that point, Sita is sure to send Lakshmana away to help Rama, leaving the place clear for me. That's all you have to do. The rest you can leave to me. I hope everything is clear. You can go down and start implementing my plan stage by stage. In no time at all, Maricha was on the ground and, assuming the form of an enchanting deer totally out of this world, began romping playfully in the neighborhood of Rama's hut. As expected, he quickly caught Sita's attention, who instantly became fascinated with this amazing animal, the like of which no one had ever seen before. With much excitement, she cried out, Dear husband and Lakshmana, Both of you drop whatever you are doing and come here at once. You must see this incredible deer of matchless beauty." And as soon as the two came, she said to Rama, "Have you ever seen a thing like that? Oh, how I would love to have that deer as a pet." Even before Rama could respond, the ever-shrewd Lakshmana said, "Rama, there is something very fishy about this animal. No one has ever heard of a golden deer, and that too one with silvery spots. I am sure this is an augur, and in fact I strongly suspect that the Rakshasa is none other than Maricha. Remember Maricha, who along with Subahu attacked the yajna that sage Vishwamitra was performing? He survived then, but has resurfaced now. That demon is very clever and capable of assuming any guise. Rama, once again I repeat, there is no such thing as a golden deer with silver spot in God's creation. If such an animal has appeared before us, it sure spells trickery. There is absolutely no doubt about it." Even as Lakshmana was expressing grave doubts about the genuineness of this new type of deer, never seen before, Sita, who had fallen completely for this bewitching animal, urged Rama to somehow get it for her, pleading that she simply must have it. She added, "Rama, if you are able to capture it alive, I would make it my pet. If for some reason you have to kill it, I could at least use its fabulous skin as a mat, which I could spread on the grass for both of us to sit. Please go after it immediately. It's not often that I ask you for anything, do I? This time, however, I have an irrepressible urge to have that deer in some form, and so do kindly heed to my request." Having heard both Lakshmana as well as Sita, Rama then said, "Lakshmana, it looks like that I have no choice but to oblige Sita. I agree with you that no one knows of a deer such as this. Something tells me that this beautiful deer would not live beyond this day. I shall go after this most unusual animal, and while I am away, you must, along with the valorous Jatayu, take care of Sita and protect her." When Marisha saw Rama approaching bow in hand, he raced away, drawing Rama after him. Together they went deep into the forest to a spot quite far away. For a while, Rama and the golden deer were engaged in hide and seek, but eventually, quite annoyed by the way the deer was giving him the slip, Rama shot an arrow that found its mark with deadly accuracy. Fatally wounded, Maricha, imitating Rama's voice, cried out exactly as Ravana had wanted him to, "O Sita, O Lakshmana!" Having played the part Ravana had assigned to him, Maricha then breathed this last. Till then, Rama did not envisage any real trouble, but Maricha's cunning ploy alarmed him a great deal, causing him to worry how Sita and Lakshmana would react to this false cry when they heard it. Back in the hut, both Sita and Lakshmana heard Maricha's deceptive wail. However, they reacted quite differently. Speaking rather agitatedly, Sita cried out, "Lakshmana, did you hear that cry? Your brother appears to be in grave danger. Please rush this very minute to help him." Much to her shock, Sita noticed that Lakshmana appeared to be totally unconcerned, remaining absolutely silent and not stirring even an inch. Sita's fear now turned to anger and scorn. Raising her voice, she screamed, "Lakshmana, are you deaf? Why are you acting as if nothing has happened? Don't you love your brother? Or was all that apparent devotion of yours for Rama just a put-on? It seems you are really his enemy, pretending to be a friend. Tell me, what is your motive for not going to Rama's help? What exactly are the intentions behind this callous inaction? Don't you understand what danger is?" Trying to be as calm as possible, Lakshmana replied in a soft and most respectful tone, "O noble princess of Videha, it is not as if I did not hear what appeared to be a distress call. Only my reading of the situation was quite different. Let me state most emphatically that there is no power on earth, or for that matter in all the three worlds, that can conquer your husband. Believe me, he is in no danger at all and is bound to return soon. You are a sacred trust placed in my charge by my Lord and brother Rama, and I dare not go against his command. Be brave, have no fear, and feel absolutely confident that Rama would soon be back safe and sound, probably with the skin of the deer. Refusing to be pacified, Sita now began speaking in a harsher and almost abusive tone. Seething with anger and contempt, she lashed out. You are not only evil-minded but also cruel. Pretending to love Rama, you have followed him here either as an agent of Bharata or because you covet me. You have seen your chance now, and that's the real reason why you are not going out to help. Let me tell you here and now that having served Rama, no one else can take me to be his wife. If something happens to Rama, then I shall not survive for 1 minute. How foolish of me to have believed in you all these years. This time, Lakshmana was truly rattled. Palms joined in humility, he responded most reverentially. You are like a deity and mother to me. Can a deity and mother ever use such words? They cause me more pain than even a poisoned arrow ever can. So powerful are they that I am now forced to disobey even Rama, something that I have never ever done before. If that is what I have to do in order to redeem my honor and prove that I am not the wicked and malevolent person you imagine me to be, then so be it. I am, as desired by you, going this very minute into the forest to be by Rama's side. However, before I leave, I pray to all the deities I know to keep you safe while both of us are away from here. I see fate playing a strange game. And truly speaking, I am not at all sure that when Rama and I return, we would see you here. If it comforts you in any measure, please note that I am leaving this very instant. Bowing to Sita, Lakshmana then left, fearing the worst. Meanwhile, assuming the form of an ascetic, complete with not only the appropriate attire and hairstyle, but also the various essentials that ascetics carry, like the dandam and the kamandalam, Ravana was in full readiness, waiting for Maricha's false cry. And the moment he heard it, he approached Rama's hut and hid himself in a bush, watching intensely. Sure enough, exactly as he had anticipated, some time after Maricha had raised the false alarm, Lakshmana emerged, bow in hand, apparently going in search of Rama. Waiting for Lakshmana to disappear, Ravana then slowly moved towards the hut, giving the impression of being a holy mendicant waiting for hospitality to be offered. Sita, whose mind was entirely focused on Rama and the danger he was supposed to be in, noticed the presence of Ravana only after he had come sufficiently close to the hut. On seeing Sita for the first time, Ravana was stunned by her beauty, and so captivated he became that he began praising her in terms that ascetics owned to celibacy were not expected to. This definitely rattled Sita, who found the language being used by the visitor to be rather crude and vulgar. Nevertheless, on account of the demands of the tradition that require hospitality to be extended to wandering recluses, Sita went through the routine of washing the visitor's feet at the doorstep, inviting him inside and offering a mat to sit on. She then placed before Ravana a plate full of fresh fruits and berries, saying, "We lead a simple life here. Please therefore bear with me for offering merely the produce of the forest." Ravana thanked Sita with an elaborate chanting of Vedic mantras, no doubt to impress Sita that he was indeed an ascetic. And while eating the fruits, casually asked her who she was and what she, who looked like a queen, was doing deep in the forest. By now Sita was feeling quite uneasy, wishing that the so-called guest would go away soon. At the same time, fearing that the ascetic might curse her if she did not reply, she briefly indicated who she was and the circumstances that had brought her and her husband to the forest. She then asked, "O Brahmana, you wanted to know who I was and I told you. Likewise, I too wish to know who you are and why you are wandering alone in this forest." Seizing the opportunity, Ravana said, "I am glad you asked. Truly speaking, I am the celebrated ruler of Lanka, Ravana by name, and the dreaded Rakshasa feared in all the three worlds. Having seen you, I am convinced you are too precious to waste your life in this dense forest. Just say yes and agree to be my queen, and I shall open the door to an unimaginably luxurious life for you, with 5,000 maids attending on you, ready to give their life to satisfy your smallest wish." The beast had at last bared its fangs. Speaking without any fear but deep anger and contempt, Sita replied, "I have taken a vow to follow my husband Rama, and nothing shall shake my resolve to do so. I now see you in your true colors, contemptible jackal, coveting me, a lioness. I warn you to run away from here, because what you are trying to do would have dangerous consequences for you." Intoxicated by uncontrollable desire, Ravana ignored Sita's dire warning. Instead, in a boastful vein, he continued, "O lady of amazing complexion, you are spurning good fortune that has come your way without your even seeking it. Over there in full readiness is my famous chariot Pushpak that can fly in the sky, go wherever I want, and even cross the ocean, as indeed we shall both be doing shortly. This chariot once belonged to my famed brother Kubera, but I seized it from him since it was more worthy of me. I am now going to seize you also, since you too are worthy of me and me alone, and none other. Be gracious and accept me voluntarily. That's the best course open to you." Sita was now genuinely shocked, since Ravana seemed to be moving from mere words to action. She tried hard to warn Ravana that he was playing with fire, but so insane had the Rakshasa become that he hardly paid any attention to what Sita was saying. Forcefully grabbing her, he quickly carried her to his chariot. Sita struggled hard to free herself, but so overpowering was Ravana that her resistance was of no consequence. Wanting Rama to know she was in danger, Sita then cried out aloud, "O Rama, please save me." Alas, unlike Marisha's cry, this one did not carry far, and Rama did not hear it. It was a desperate moment for Sita, who now began to regret the tragic mistake she had committed by casting unwanted aspersions on Lakshmana, thus removing him from the scene. Not knowing what to do, she appealed pathetically to everything in sight to help her. Thus it was she cried out, "O beautiful trees that are silently watching all this, when Rama returns, please tell him that Ravana has carried away Sita. O Godavari, you too are a witness to all this, are you not? Would you kindly remember to tell Rama that I have been forcibly carried away by the evil Ravana?" It was in the midst of such meaningless rambling that she saw Jatayu perched on the top of a tall tree. Knowing Jatayu to be a dear friend of the family, she cried out, "O noble bird, you have seen all that has happened, and I am sure that at least you would report the full details of this cruel abduction to Rama." When Sita cried out, Jatayu was actually sleeping, but Sita's loud lamentations quickly woke him up. In a second, Jatayu grasped what was happening, and flying to the chariot in which Ravana was carrying Sita away, tried at first to advise the Rakshasa that not only was his action wrong, but in fact sure to result in his death. It was therefore best for Ravana to leave Sita back in the hut and return to Lanka quickly. Drunk with lust and deluded by the taste of what he believed was the success of his mission, Ravana was in no mood to listen to the advice of a mere bird, dismissing the latter with contempt. Thereupon, Jatayu challenged Ravana and attacked the mighty ogre with great ferocity. Jatayu was much stronger than his appearance indicated, and not just a mere bird as Ravana had imagined. Jatayu first tore the canopy of the chariot, allowing him to get closer to Ravana. Next, when Ravana tried to load his bow, Jatayu attacked the bow with his powerful beak, breaking it into two. A fierce battle then raged, lasting over an hour. In the end, pulling out his sword, Ravana swiftly cut off the wings of the powerful bird. Unable to sustain himself in the air any longer, Jatayu crashed to the ground from a great height. As Ravana sped away, Jatayu lay mortally wounded, holding on to dear life so that he could narrate to Rama all that happened when the two brothers returned. Up in heaven, Brahma, the creator who silently watched the abduction of Sita, then said to himself, "Everything is going according to plan, and soon Ravana would be exterminated by the Supreme Lord." Down on earth, however, the mood was very different. Valmiki records that the entire forest, including all the animals, expressed grief and distress in various ways. While the trees suddenly began shedding flowers, the animals started growling and running in the direction in which the chariot was flying. Meanwhile, Sita, now trapped and all alone in the demon's chariot, turned to Ravana and said scornfully, "O wild Ravana, you call yourself powerful, and yet you have acted like a cheap coward. Are you not ashamed? Do you realize what disgrace you have brought to your entire clan about which you boast so much? More than anything else, you seem to be oblivious to the fact that disaster that eagerly awaits you has made you take leave of your senses. You do not know about my Rama. Tangling with him is like extending a hearty invitation to death, and believe me, death would not keep you waiting long." Lost as he was in an imaginary world of his own, none of this advice made the slightest impression on Ravana, who continued to pilot the chariot, anxious to take it as quickly as possible to Lanka. Meanwhile, looking down from above, Sita saw below a mountain peak, seated on top of which were 5 Vanaras who looked like chiefs of some kind. Seized with an idea, Sita quickly tore a piece of her garment and placed in it a few of her jewels. Wrapping up the jewels quickly and taking care to see that Ravana was not watching, Sita quietly dropped the bundle, even as the chariot flew directly over the Vanara group. The chariot raced on, flying over hills, lakes, forests and rivers. It then crossed the vast ocean to make the final approach to Lanka. Landing on home ground, Ravana then drove to his gymnasium and lodged Sita there. For a moment, Ravana let Sita slip out of his mind and summoned 8 mighty and fierce Rakshasas to his presence. When they showed up and saluted him, Ravana said, "Listen carefully, all of you, because I have an important assignment for your group. Till recently, we had a strong presence in Janasthana with our dear brother Khara looking after our interests. Unfortunately, he has been killed by Rama. That is our territory and we just cannot be kept out of it. I therefore want you to go there immediately and re-establish our presence. This has become especially important, for I am keen to get rid of Rama as quickly as possible. You will move to Janasthana at once, establish yourself quietly, collect as much intelligence as possible, so that our cause is helped and advanced. I wish you all well and would like you to leave at once." That detail taken care of, Ravana felt highly confident that he would soon be able to get rid of Rama forever. Excited by that unrealistic thought, he then went inside to speak to Sita. Standing before her and trying to look imperious as well as important, Ravana said, "Sita, This place you now are in is my palace. What you see is only a tiny bit of it. If you like, I can give you a full and grand tour. And when you see it in its entirety, you would be amazed by its magnificence. I would say you are very lucky because you now have the chance of being the supreme queen of all this. Ravana continued, it is best for you to accept whatever has happened and quietly come to terms with it. Forget Rama. He was supposed to become a king, but chose instead to become a pauper and drag you to the forest. You seriously believe he can come this far, and that too crossing a mighty ocean in order to take you back? Don't waste your time indulging in such meaningless dreams. Whether you like it or not, you are now with me. Our customs and traditions allow what is called Rakshasa Vivaha, forced marriage. In accordance with that, I am going to take you as my wife. It is best for you to accept reality and take me as your husband. You do that, and I shall instantly become your slave. And once I become your slave, there is no wish of yours that I would not fulfill. Do you realize that right now I am actually bowing to you while pleading with you? Are you aware that Ravana never bows to a woman? That is the power you have over me, using which you can gain so much. All you have to do is to merely nod to say yes. How easy it is, and yet you are making it so difficult. In heaven's name, why? It was a torture for Sita to hear this wild plea and sermon, but she waited for Ravana to finish. And when he did, she gave vent to her cold fury. Making no attempt to conceal her supreme disdain and contempt for the mighty Rakshasa, Sita replied, You fool, drunk with lust and desire, you seem to be eagerly courting death. Let me state emphatically here and now that I am the wife of Rama, the son of Dasaratha of the famed Ikshvaku dynasty. Thanks to the boon granted to you by Brahma, you may be protected from death at the hands of celestial beings, no matter how powerful. But remember, you do not enjoy any such exemptions where humans are concerned. Given that Rama has extraordinary strength, do you imagine you can really stand up to him? Have you forgotten what happened to your entire tribe in Janasthana? Don't forget that you have kidnapped me by trickery. That does not mean, however, that you can take on Rama in a face-to-face combat. I am Rama's lawfully wedded wife, and for me none other exists. You can therefore forget your pipe dreams and stop imagining that I will ever consent to becoming your wife. I would rather die than submit to you. This is my final word, and it's up to you to decide what to do next. Ravana did not expect such a severe rebuff, having assumed that Lanka being far away and across the ocean, Sita would give up all hopes of rescue by Rama. Realizing that Sita was made of sterner stuff, Ravana became hopping mad and screamed, Listen, you beautiful but utterly foolish woman, I give you 12 months to think it all over and accept me. If you do not yield to me within this period, my cooks would cut you to pieces and serve you as my breakfast. Whether you wish to end up as my dear wife or as my breakfast is a choice I leave to you, and you would not have one day more than 12 months. Turning then to the Rakshasis who were supposed to be attending on Sita, Ravana yelled, Take this woman to the Ashokavana and hold her in captivity there. Make sure you keep a close watch on her, and use whatever means needed to make her change her mind and yield to me. And that is how Sita soon found herself in Ashokavana, a small but beautiful and most enchanting forest in the outskirts of Lanka, free from wild animals, but with plenty of ogresses to make up for that. That's all for this week, and I conclude this talk by offering it at the lotus feet of our most beloved Swami as a service done to him via the listeners of Radio Sai. Thanks for listening, and Jai Sai Ram.